So our next speaker is an individual that I've gotten to know some since I've been here in Albuquerque. And, you know, I thought when the Albuquerque Tea Party first started getting together that we might be the only conservative organization in Albuquerque. But there's not. There's another organization that's been here longer than the Albuquerque Tea Party and works very hard, especially in the local area, on conservative issues, and that's the Rio Grande Foundation. And so our next speaker, Dr. Paul Gessing, is going to come and talk to you a little bit about what the Rio Grande Foundation is doing, some of their initiatives, and I won't take all of his thunder, but he's probably surprised that I remember, but one of the things we did a while back was we got together and we hosted a night at the movies where we showed a movie that was called Not Just Wrong But Evil, about the global warming scam that was going on. And we're looking at another movie night where we may play the movie, maybe some of you have seen it, Sick and Sicker, which is about government-run healthcare to kind of educate people about what's coming if we don't repeal this. So another teaser there for you, but ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Paul Gessing from the Rio.
Thanks, Rick. I want to clear up something. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a PhD, so I think David cleared that up earlier, David Harris, but had an MBA, but we don't get the doctor next to our names, so I appreciate the promotion, though. I'll be sure to tell myself to raise more money so I can pay myself more. But anyway, before I get started with my presentation, I want to give you a chance. Most of you are on our email list, and many of you I see at our events regularly. But I'm going to give you a carrot in order to get you to sign up for our email list. That is a book by Jonah Goldberg, who, if you follow the Rio Grande Foundation, was here a little less than a month ago. He signed this particular copy called The Tyranny of Cliches. It's his newest book. And if you sign up for our email list, I will count up the names and pick a random number, and whoever is the lucky person will get to take home a signed copy of Tyranny of Cliches. So please pass that around the room. Thank you very much. I'm told that I'm supposed to talk about the aftermath of the Obamacare ruling and the next steps in healthcare. But before I get on to that, I do want to address an issue that we're working with here in New Mexico on right-to-work legislation, which we've seen a lot of. Oh, thank you. We have a paper that's available. Some of you may have already seen it. If you don't have a copy, want a copy, you can talk to me or check our website, riograndefoundation.org. We've seen over the years, and Rio Grande did precede the Tea Party. And yes, it was very lonely here before you guys showed up, so thank you for coming out. And we've been involved in the Tea Party since the very, very beginning, when we had the big rally at Independence Grill, and I argued with Martin Heinrich during the pre-Obamacare days. Many of you may remember at the UNM Continuing Education Center, and I had a raucous Tea Party group there supporting me in that very, very unique environment. But before we get onto that, the right-to-work law, we just saw another solar company go kerflooey here in New Mexico. $16 million of your taxpayer dollar, of your money, is out the window. We've had Eclipse Aviation go belly up. HP hasn't gone belly up yet, but we just got them here. We just paid them a bunch of money to get them to set up in Rio Rancho, and they're already laying off people. We've got a supercomputer that's cost, well, just $11 million to get it set up, and that's already something that's causing problems for the state. Right to work costs $0, and it saves money for individuals. Businesses will locate in our state, and our study finds a bunch of different things, but our incomes, believe it or not, we came this close For those of you who are older than I am, may remember in New Mexico, we almost had right to work legislation back in 79 and 81. It was vetoed by then Governor Bruce King. But if we had adopted right to work back then, our personal income level would be 21% higher on average, and we'd have 21% more people working in this state. That's 169,000 people working who are not working now in New Mexico. And if by 2020, if we adopted it in this session in 2013, which is a 60-day right to work, actually get traction. Candy Spence-Zell has introduced it in the legislature. She's a Roswell Republican. But if we introduced it and got it passed through this year, 42,000 more people would be working by 2020 than would be working otherwise, and our state's personal income would be $5 billion higher. So right to work is a very simple, straightforward economic reform that I think is an absolute must for New Mexico moving forward. And I hope that we can get you guys on board and everyone can work to get the legislature and their policymakers on board, and that when organized labor shows up in Santa Fe to rally against it, which they inevitably will, you guys will be there to help counterbalance them. So with that, I want to start on my presentation on Medicaid. So I've got a blank slide. Let's go to slide number 2. Let's go on to number 3. We are a 501c3. For those of you who are not tax nerds, that means we're not lobbyists. We're a think tank. We come up with ideas. You guys are the foot soldiers, hopefully. Not that you don't have great ideas, but you guys take our research and some of our information, hopefully, and take it to your elected officials, get the right people elected who support those ideas. You know, going back in time to, I've been actually here for 6.5 years at Rio Grande Foundation. You know, there was not a conservative voice here when I showed up. I was the first of the organized voices. I mean, the chambers of commerce are not what I would call conservative. There were no activism organizations in place. It really wasn't. We do not have all of the ins and outs of how Justice Roberts contorted his brain in the Constitution into going along with certain aspects of Obamacare, but this is a nice cartoon that illustrates the potential new situation. Well, the Volts aren't selling so well. That's the electric car that GM put out with the help, again, of many of your taxpayer dollars. So under the new Supreme Court ruling, well, Obama and Roberts can force you to buy a Chevy Volt or pay a $2,000 tax. Next slide. So I know this is going to be very small, but what this is a illustration of the way the tax increases contained in the healthcare law phase in over time. At the left is kind of where we are. Obamacare will just be another step in government strangling the healthcare sector. It's not the first, it's not the last, probably. So we've seen everywhere from 200% over budget to 1,700% over budget on various Medicare programs. And certainly Obamacare will follow that trajectory. There's no doubt, especially since the law was written so politically, so carefully to adhere to the limits and make it seem smaller and less costly than it really was. Next slide. So, what do we do? What are activists? What's the Tea Party going to do in the future? You know, I had